Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Quest Labs. I'm so excited today because I'm going to show you how you can take automatically your latest published Substack post, turn it into a Pinterest pin, and automatically post it so that you can gain even more traction and external traffic from this great, amazing visual search engine called Pinterest. And you don't have to do anything, any complex things, any technical stuff, like, for example, integrating your Gmail or integrating your RSS feeds or any of that, just because I created a new app for Make.com, new automation app for Make.com. I just vibe coded it with ChatGPT, and right now it has two actions, one of which is to take automatically your latest published Substack notes, and the brand new action that I just added is to get the latest published 5 Substack posts. So we're going to use this today so that we can take your latest published Substack post, generate a Pinterest pin out of it, and then automatically post it on Pinterest. I have scheduled this to run every day, and even though I am not publishing, so I try to publish something every day, but even though I am not publishing something every day, it will still generate a unique Pinterest pin and a unique text, so you don't have to worry if it is duplicated with one and pointing to one and the same post, because that is actually giving you even more exposure, and that's even much better. Don't worry about this automation and how to set it up. You don't have to take notes or any of that, because I'm also going to share the entire Make.com blueprint for this automation in the description below this video, so that you can take it and import it into a brand new scenario that you can make. You can create in Make.com, and you can do that by going in your upper right corner right here, and then click on those 3 buttons right here and click Import Blueprint. This has moved in Make.com, by the way. It was at the bottom of the settings, but right now it's here, so keep that in mind. All right, so what do we do? It's really simple in this automation. You start with the Creative Tech Hub app that I just vibe coded for Make.com, and select the action get last 5 published Substack posts. Then make sure that you select your connection with it, and also add your profile username without the @ symbol underneath. In order to be able to connect with this app, you have to be a paid subscriber of my Unplugged newsletter on Substack. And if you're not, you can become a paid member. And after about an hour or 2, you will be able to use the connection in a Make.com scenario. Right after you connect the Creative Tech Hub app, so what you have to do, you could use basically whichever AI you prefer. For this automation, you could use ChatGPT. For this automation, I prefer to use Gemini because it's much easier, and it's working really well with text. And for Pinterest, we need text on an image, because that's the format that is working on Pinterest and generating you, and it is able to generate you a lot of traffic out of this search engine. So the first task that we have with Gemini right here is to take some details from your post and generate a subtitle for that image. So we're going to use a title and a subtitle for your image, for your pin on the Pinterest. So the title would be, most probably it would be great from the post. So I left the title to be on the pin, but the subtitle is not always great. That's why we need to adapt it. And for that, we're going to use AI, of course, for that. So I have created a prompt right here. You're going to have that prompt in the description as well. And in this prompt, you will add from the Creative Tech Hub app additional context from your post. That would be your title, your description of the post, also the exact post. So if it is a free post, it's going to be visible to my app, but if it is a paywall post, then the body of your post will not be visible. But Gemini will be able to generate a description for your pin even out of the post title and the subtitle, which is in this case the description. And if it is a podcast, I also added link to the actual transcript of your podcast, so that Gemini can have even more context. Then I have a simple task, and I also have an example how to generate it. After that, you will have to make sure that you select the text right here. So we need a text output out of this prompt, and the rest is basically all of the defaults, and that's everything that you will have to select here in Gemini. The next task is to actually generate the actual pin for Pinterest. And for this, I am again using Gemini, and I am selecting the model Nano Banana, because it's working really well. So in order for this to work, if you are creating this automation from scratch by yourself, then make sure that you are selecting the action generate a response and not generate an image from Gemini, because in the generate image, you will not see the Nano Banana of Gemini, which is really powerful. Next is, so what do you need to give Nano Banana in order to generate your pin is actually this amazing prompt that I have just created, and it is taking your post title from the Creative Tech Hub app, and it is taking also the result from the previous Gemini node, which is actual subtitle that we want to have on our pin. So those are the only things that you need to have on your pin. I have found that this is working really well, but if you want to have any additional text, you could simply adapt the first prompt so that it generates you whatever you need on your pin. Next, I have a really long prompt, which is generating the image in the style that I would like to, but I would highly suggest to read through the entire prompt and make sure that you adapt it, because as you can see, I have added here my brand color, and I have also added the actual ratio, which I think is working really well on Pinterest. Then I have added some visual styles, some color palettes, which you can also change right here, and I highly advise to do so. And then there are options for the styles of the images. Then there's some rules and some visual elements and so on. It's really, really long prompt that you can go through it right here and edit it as per your preferences, of course. And don't worry, you're gonna find the prompt in the description of this video as well, so that you don't have to take it from this video in any way. So that's everything that you need to add in the prompt basically. And then add the generation configuration, make sure that you click image, and then the rest is basically all of the settings are by default. Click save. Next it's getting a little bit more complex, and that is to actually save the image and turn it into a URL, so that we can then take it and post it to Pinterest. That's the most technical and the most complex part of this automation, but don't worry, I've got you covered for this. So in order to show you what I mean, I'm gonna run this automation once, so that it generates the results. So we're going to go right here and see what are the actual results out of those prompts and out of each and every node, so that you can understand better what's going on the background and what exactly should you use in case you are building this by yourself. I'm going to pause the video now because it's going to take a little while of all of the Gemini's nodes here that I have added, and I'm going to come back in just a sec. All right, it's done now. So here's what I mean with the Google Drive. Yeah, the actual output of Nano Banana looks like this, and let me show you guys. That's really, you won't gonna see, you're not gonna see a link towards an image, which is what we need in order to be able to post to Pinterest, but you're gonna see something like this, and you see how long this is. It's huge. It's basically huge. So we need some coding here in order to transform this code into an actual image. And good luck with it. We are lucky to have the Google Drive node, which can actually do the heavy lifting for us with just a little minor tweak, the code and the input. And that is what I mean here. So you can select this upload a file action from the Google Drive node. Make sure that you add your connection. Then you can, for the folder ID, you select from the list, then choose your drive, then choose the folder where you want to save this image, and make sure that this folder is open to sharing to anyone with the link and with the right to edit. That's really important, otherwise this automation will not work. Then make sure, then you have to add a new file name here, which is not that much of important basically, but for the sake of search engine optimization, you can actually add, now that I remember, actually you can actually add the title of the post so that it's optimized for the search engine, of course, because there you're gonna have in your title some keywords, and those are important for the file names. It's huge for the search engine optimization. Next you will need a file name, and you will also need a data, which is something that you cannot take directly from Nano Banana. You will have to transform this code to a binary in order for Google upload a file action to work, basically. And in order to do that, you will need to add this kind of code. Don't worry, I'm not a master in those code. I vibe code everything in make.com with ChatGPT. You can do it by yourself if you have the time, of course. I'm just hooked with this. But if you don't have the time, that's why I'm giving you the entire template, which you can basically plug in and play with your content. You just sit and forget it and just make sure that you give it a look every now and then so that it's still actually running. That's the only code that you need here. And then make sure that you click here, convert to a file. And then here I have auto detection, and then the source file MIME type, I add the actual data as well. Then click save. And then we're gonna need another Gemini node, which is doing the following thing. It's taking my, for the response modalities you need text. So it's taking again the same context of the post and create a very short social media post, and that's the entire prompt, and make sure that you edit it and adapt it for your context and for your niche and audience. And so it's taking the context from my post and it creates a short social media text post which goes into the text field of Pinterest. That's really important because you're gonna need some keywords there, of course. Then that's the entire prompt. It also has some examples. It's really important to give examples to AI. If you remember, there's one of the very important rules of using AI is to show and don't tell. So most people try to explain with words what they expect out of the AI, but it's much easier to just simply show it, just give it an example. And that's everything. So make sure that you have selected text here, and then everything else is actually default. And that's basically it. Next, you will then have to just set the publishing to Pinterest, which is really easy. And that is, you create your connection, you choose image URL as a source type. For the image URL, you choose the Google Drive web content link, which you can find here. Then you select your board, then you can skip the board section and pin name. And then as a description, make sure that you select the result out of the latest Gemini node. And for the link, you select from the Creative Tech Hub the actual link to your post, which is this one, the canonical URL of your post, so that Pinterest can drive you some traffic. That's the ultimate goal, the ultimate goal. And that's basically it. I also added another node, which is capturing every time Pinterest returns an error, just in case that it makes sure. So this node makes sure that whenever there's an error, the whole automation doesn't stop, and the next day it's going to run again. That's everything that it does. Now hit save. Let's run it once again, and then let's check the actual results. Right, it's now ready and all went smoothly well. Now we can check on my Pinterest board. This is how it looks like. Let's refresh it, and voila. Here it is. So those are the two pins that we just generated, and those are the previous ones that I have generated while I was testing this automation. It's pretty well I like it for Pinterest. It got, so Nano Banana got a bit creative here and turned it a little bit upside down. But that's the pin here. That is the actual post. And then when you click visit site, it goes to the actual post that I just shared to Pinterest. And amazing, it's working really well. Now, one thing to make sure that you do, just a heads up, as you can see, AI can make mistakes, unfortunately. So if you get something like this, just make sure that you simply delete it, and that's it. That's what I would basically do. Yeah. All right, I'm going to delete it in just a bit. So now I also wanted to show you one trick that you could do with Pinterest, which can actually help entirely automatically post your post with the image that you have added to your post, with the key visual that you have added to your post. And that is by connecting your RSS feed directly to Pinterest. It's really easy. You can do so. I have just connected my Substack and also my Medium, and I already got some views on my Medium articles. It's really amazing. And also on and some clicks as well on my Substack latest posts. There are quite so many views. I just connected this a few minutes ago, so I'm really impressed. But that's what happens. So you could also connect your Instagram account. So whenever you post something on Instagram, it can be automatically posted on Pinterest as well. And those are my carousel images that I have shown you in the previous episodes of the Quest Labs. So in order to do that, you can go to your settings, and then you can click link to Pinterest and actually import content, and then go to RSS and then click connect, and then those are the actual feeds that you could add, and you could add more to Pinterest so that it takes your posts automatically and post them on Pinterest. And that's another trick that you could use for Pinterest to drive even more traffic. I just have installed that, and I'm curious to see what's going on with my traffic. Of course, I'm going to share the results with you as always. Now back to Make. One last thing I would like to show you is that you could actually, so if you're posting posts that are not that you don't really want to share on Pinterest, then you could filter them by using those filters here. They're built in Make.com, so it's really easy to filter the content. And as you probably know, I have sharing posts from my challenges that are with those words in the headline. So they have share your post, share your notes, the Notes 30 challenge and the writing challenge. So I made sure that I have excluded those from this automation because I want to only share the rest of the post. Plug it in your Make account and let the traffic flow.